Good morning, everybody. My name is Mike Wintch. I'm a planning ops trainee here on the Coffee Pot Fire, and this is your August 28th operational update. The fire grew 874 acres yesterday, bringing us to 4,552 acres. We have 1,312 personnel on the fire today. We've shown an increase in our primary containment line completion, bringing us up to 65% completed on the primary containment lines around the fire. Yesterday was a pretty quiet day. We got a lot done in terms of just strengthening our control lines, validating what we needed done from Mineral King Road down to South Fork Drive, finalizing all those water handling systems, getting people in place, and looking into future firing operations from Case Mountain, working our way down. Out on Mineral King Road, we continued prepping Mineral King Road down below, brushing that out and chipping as we went. And we started to turn here. We found some hand line that we brought down from Mineral King Road down to the river proper. And we're looking to tie that in with the fire use modules that are currently out spiking. So this has been a pretty good piece of work here. The Kaweah River to the Horse Creek drainage. For the people who are familiar with that area, that's going to be what we consider to be a good primary holding feature, the Horse Creek. And working our way up a ridge system here, and they were actually yesterday able to complete some really good line. They tied it into the fire's edge and brought hand line that's completed now out to their this spot right here is where they're sleeping at their spike camp, and they brought it out to approximately here, and then we'll future out that line, tying it into those rock systems. A lot of the 874 acres of growth that I spoke to occurred out here. As this fire is back down, it transitioned into some grass. It got out of the timber, went into the brush, and now got into the grass and started moving around a bit. We identified that. And again, as we've spoken to in the past, we don't want fire to get underneath other fire and have the opportunity to come into alignment and run back uphill and devastate the trees and the brush in that area. So we put some helicopters in the air, and they began to work fire down the ridge system. Gently, so that we had a backing fire, and that was done last night. So a lot of the smoke you're seeing in the air is probably you could attribute it to that. And that fire, we have boots on the ground all night. We had people in place watching that, and that's been backing into Scratch Creek. And Scratch Creek has been a previous holding feature on this landscape from other fires, and that's held. So we're looking at the opportunity to let that fire back into Scratch Creek and where we would stop and hold it there. We're not putting all our eggs in that basket. We certainly are looking to validate these ridge lines out to the east. We have folks looking to put that in place while simultaneously trying to hold something a little bit closer. As that fire comes down towards the Kaweah River and South Fork Drive, that could initiate changes in our operational tempo for sure. For the folks who live out towards the end of South Fork Drive, that's going to be an opportunity to make sure you're maintaining the Genesis app on your phone, keeping an eye on that, keeping an eye on social media with Tulare County Sheriffs and Fire Department, seeing if there's any change in status for the community you're living in. The INCI website certainly has a lot of information pertaining to that too. We have a heavy presence in this community at the end. Lots of individuals here that are monitoring that and prepared to take action, but the closer that fire gets to our primary containment line, it's actually the better. Then we got fire on our line. We've talked about that a lot. That'll be a direct hand line now. We have fire on our line, and we can hold that. And that's going to give us the opportunity to start bringing fire towards our primary containment lines and starting to show some containment on this fire. Throughout today, we're going to continue, again, to validate these lines. We're working hard on this ridge here, coming up to H3 we've spoken a lot about. Last night we went up to H3 and we looked at the firing operation. We've been talking about that for some time. There's a series of checklists we go through, though, to validate whether it's a good idea to put fire on the ground. Once we put fire on the ground, it's tough to pick that back up. We're pretty committed. So we got into place last night. We went through our checklists, and we found we couldn't really check all those boxes. So we took a strategic pause. We're going to go back in there, make sure our boxes can be checked, and tonight we're going to get back up to H3 and look at putting the planned ignitions and putting fire on the ground. So that's our operational update for the day. Again, if you have questions or comments, please feel free to put them in, and our public information staff will look to get answers for you. And other than that, we'll look forward to talking to you tomorrow. Thank you.